decided to head out to the Holston Hills earlier this month of June and visit the Holston River and the Holston River area. I love coming out here, especially in the summer. So green. And it is such the place for a long hike among beautiful hills and beautiful homes along the Holston River. The day was going to be hot, so I set out early in the morning, very early in the morning, first bus out. I had a destination in mind. You know, the Holston River, in past posts, I've noted how it's such a lifeblood of Tennessee. The TVA put 3 dams on the Holston River, and those dams generate power and also recreation. Holston is the main river in Tennessee, where the people in the state get their water from. And further down the Holston here, it meets up with the French Broad. And together they join to form the Tennessee River that will flow past Knoxville, Tennessee. It's views like these that keep me coming back in the summer. This area, I've noted before, is was once all farming community for the most part. There was mostly farms out here. Most have been divided up and sold for housing developments and private homes, estates, and the such. UT still has a agricultural department out here. They still have a lot of agricultural land that they do for farming and experiments and such down further along the Holston, near the forks of the river. But they are just about the only ones that still have farms out here. There is a cruise farm, family farm here, that is still in this general area. It is a dairy farm, and it sells milk and ice cream to local stores in Knoxville. They have an ice cream store out here, as well as a pizza restaurant. And that is where I am headed today, to visit this tourist attraction of a family farm that's become sort of a franchise. It sells milk to local stores, and it has a few ice cream shops around Knoxville. I know there's one on Gay Street in downtown Knoxville. Cruise Ice Cream. But they are one of the last family farms in an area that used to be filled with family farms. And they are not the first family farm that has become a franchise in Knoxville. The Wagle family used to have a farm out here. The Wagle family farm in Asbury was a huge, huge dairy farm during the early and mid 20th century here in the Holston area. But over time, they sold their farm and went into selling milk and selling ice cream. And soon their dairy stores, the Wagle ice cream and the Wagle milk stores, became convenience stores. And though the farmland is mostly gone here, the Wagle convenience store is perhaps the biggest convenience brand in Tennessee. There are more than 50 Wagle convenience stores that feature Wagle milk primarily, and they sell gasoline as well throughout the state of Tennessee. So a number of places here in the Holston area have gone from farm to some sort of franchise. While the farms have gotten smaller, their business has changed, has been transformed over the years from farm to franchises. And what was left of many of the farms out here have become family homes and family residences. And so that's why I'm out here today, and that is where I am headed today, to check out this cruise family visitors attraction in Asbury, their dairy store and their pizza restaurant, and see just what became of their family farm, and see if I can find any remnants of what was once a huge, the huge family farm of the Wagles in Asbury along the Holston River. The flip side of Boyd's Bridge Pike, and I thought this would be interesting to show you. Right on the other side of the Boyd's Bridge on Strawberry Plains is sort of a microcosm of much of the Holston River area, from what I can tell. in my travels out here. Isn't it gorgeous? That's the Rivermont Farm homestead. Rivermont is a cattle farm specializing in Angus cattle. That they breed and raise and sell. One of the finest farms in the southeast, from what I read. Right next door to the Rivermont Farms, and right off of the bridge, is the Rivershore Estates, a small community along the shores of the Holston River there. That road there leads down into a whole sort of community development along the Holston River line. Big yards, multi-story family homes. It's pretty easy, I believe, to speculate, if you will, that much of the land at the Rivershores Estates were once the property of the Rivermont Farms here. The Rivermont Farms began in the late 50s, early 1960s. You may know from past posts here that I sort of have, I like stopping by here, despite the gorgeous views and the very scenic, iconic views here at the Rivermont Farms. There is usually a stray goat or two that you can find wandering around by the fence posts here. There were none that day that I went out, sadly. But usually one or two stray animals from the Rivermont Farms can be spotted. The Rivermont Farms do not have tours. They do not have public tours. And they are one of the few family farms, and it is a family farm passed down from the original couple that owned the farm. Shelby, I believe it was, has been passed down to his son Bill and previous generations. At the Rivermont Farms here. It's really the only working farm that I saw outside of perhaps the University of Tennessee in this Holston River area. In 2 or 3 years that I've come out here on various hikes and excursions and discoveries. It's interesting that the Rivermont Farms seem to be bookended by the River Shore Estates. There is the one development that I just showed you down there, right off of the bridge. And there is another development by the same name, River Shore Estates, further down the road here. Down here, not far along Strawberry Plains, is another development of family homes. And it is along the Holston River line. Both developments are along the river line. Leaving the Rivermont cattle farm, primarily with property, from what I could tell. That's the other end of the Rivermont farms, and that's the River Shore Estates. I do not know when these were put in, when the land was sold. All of this is speculation on my part, but it really does seem to me, and I could be wrong, of course, but it really seems to me that these two developments that bookend or sort of bound the Rivermont farms, family farms, come from the original property owned by the family since the 1950s and 60s that I know of, that I can gather from the internet. Interesting microcosm. Right off of the bridge at Strawberry Plains,